Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of WBRG Garage. Today, day 13 on our CBR 300 flat tracker build. Today our goal is to finish torque all the suspension in the rear, get the engine in the frame, torque everything down. Hopefully we'll be able to get to putting in the electronics tray and hang the radiator off the frame. So those are the things that we're looking to complete for today. And if you guys are ready, we're gonna get on that bus and take that ride. So here we go. Today we are back on the CBR 300 flat tracker build, and we left off on our last episode making this thing a roller. What we did not do is we didn't torque any of the hardware for the rear suspension linkage, so we're going to start our episode today torquing all the linkage down to proper spec, and then we're moving on to installing the engine in this bad boy. So when we're done today, we'll definitely have a different look of our machine, so we should jump right into it and get some stuff done. You guys ready? Let's get some work done. Okay, so we have all of our suspension linkage torqued to proper spec. Our next step is to bring the engine over and get it mounted into our frame. So let's go and grab the engine. You ready? Let's go. Okay, engine is in. All the bolts are torqued. She ain't going nowhere. Fits nice. We only put part of our engine mounting brackets in. The other part of the bracket holds fairings on, so we deleted that whole section of the brackets. It looks nice and clean up front. You guys may be a little behind on where we're at with the engine and how it got to this point. So in the very beginning, we know that this thing was completely blown up inside. We're talking chunks of metal all over the place inside the engine cases. Now you guys didn't see us assemble this engine. You did see us disassemble it to see the broken, but you didn't see us put it back together. The reason for that is this engine was completely reassembled by Honda. So there was a standing recall on this engine, which actually was the failed part that caused our engine to blow up. So they took full responsibility. We brought our Honda engine over to a Honda certified dealership and they rebuilt our engine from scratch with all Honda parts. Everything inside of these cases are new. So the engine cases are original, left and right side covers and all the accessories inside are the original stuff, except for the clutch pack, because I'm pretty sure that was destroyed as well. But this is a brand new engine. Never been run, never been started. When we do finally get this thing completely together, we are gonna have to break this engine in. So brand new engine in our flat tracker build. Somebody's gonna be lucky enough to pretty much have a brand new machine. I mean, all new bearings, new wheels, new brakes, new engine, sprockets, chain, tires, all the fluids are fresh. This is gonna be a pretty stellar machine when we're done. So we need to keep going and get this thing built. I think my next step is going to be to fit the electronics tray in the tail, because I think at this point, if you put any other parts on, you can't get it in. So we're gonna put this on now so we don't screw ourselves for later. So let's see if we can't get this tray in and we're gonna get back to work. We're having a small discussion here in the shop as to whether or not we're going to be able to delete the factory airbox. This is it. This big giant thing here to feed one little tiny 300cc cylinder. Now, granted, the gas tank is designed to fit over it, right? So we're not gonna have any clearance issues with anything, but what we are gonna have is, looking at this bike from the side, this airbox is going to fill all the gaps in, and you're not gonna be able to see through. I really like to be able to see through the machine from one side to the other. I like the look of them being as simple as they can possibly be. So if there's any way that we can delete this airbox, we're gonna do that. We have it up here just so we could see what it is that we'd be getting rid of, and it is massive. I mean, this is the whole thing. What we're trying to figure out is right here on this nipple is where the map sensor plugs into the system. Just trying to figure out if we can actually run the map sensor off of the boot that comes off of the intake that the throttle body hooks into. That way being able to just delete this whole thing. I hope we can. We'll find out a little bit further. Once the wiring harness is in, the throttle body is on, and we see where everything is meant to go, and then we'll go from there. We're just gonna push this thing off to the side for now. I'm looking for the hardware so we can mount the radiator on this thing. So let's get rid of this. Let's move back onto the radiator and try and get more of this bike assembled. Started digging through some bins over here looking for the hardware to mount the radiator, and I found the tray bolts were in a different bag. So I'm going to take the bolts that I put in already out and put these in their place. And then I found, I'm going to get back to that because I was looking for hardware for the radiator. I found that the radiator only gets one bolt. So it's got two pins that it hangs on for the lower point, and then one bolt in the top to hold it in place. So we're gonna knock out these 3 bolts, we're gonna put in the correct ones, and then we're going to hang the radiator on this thing. If you look at this right now, there's really nothing else gonna hang off this engine except for the exhaust. Everything else on this thing is gonna be tucked away and hidden. You're not gonna see any of it. I really don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this big rubber mat though. Or does it actually go over the engine? It does, it goes over the top of the engine. This goes here, that goes to the intake. That's how that goes. Okay, so we keep it. Very nice, I like. Where do we go from here? I think from here is actually like the harness. I don't think I want to start with that now. It's kind of late in the day to get started with that.
Yeah, seeing as though it took us 3 days to do the other one. I think.
Now the other one was slightly different because we had deleted so much stuff from it. This thing we're not really deleting. I'm not going to say that. We're deleting some so I think we'll leave the harness for another day. I'm very happy with where we're at right now. Like I said, this thing was going to assemble fast.
I've been saying that.
Yeah, it's going to assemble fast. Technically, if it was just going to go back stock, I could just reassemble this whole thing in a day. It's not, so there's some fiddly little stuff to be done, hunting through hardware and, you know, stuff like that, figuring out what we need, what we don't need. We's done for today. Our next step is fairly large, so instead of stepping halfway into it, not getting it done for the day, we're just gonna leave it for now. But as you can see, we have gotten some pretty good stuff accomplished on our flat tracker build today. We got all the rear suspension torqued, engine is in and torqued. We got the electronics tray mounted. We got the radiator mounted, hoses installed. Stupid little rubber heat shield in here. It's going quick. It's gonna go fast on this one. There's not a whole lot to this bike. So, you know, once the harness is on and you can power the system, you're all that much closer to pushing the magic button and making this thing make noise. So that's our ultimate goal, is to get this thing finished up and down the road. So, and make noise, and we're definitely gonna make some noise. We're gonna show you how much noise we're gonna make when we put the exhaust on this thing. We've all seen it except for you. So yeah, she's gonna be a noisy girl. Thank you very much for sticking with us for another day of WBRG. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And for all you people out there that really like motorcycle content like this, visit us over at Patreon for as little as $5 a month. You could win this bike or our next build or any of the future builds that we do head from here. So come on back, go see us at Patreon. Come see this bike get finished up and ridden around. We'll see you on the next episode. You outro crew people, you're our favorite, because you know why? You make it all the way to the end, and you sit through the good and the bad. Thank you for that. Now, we've been discussing what we're going to do with the front end of this bike. We're going to do a number plate on it to stick with the flat track theme. But do you think our number plate up front should be painted or raw aluminum? So we're going to ask you guys that one. Don't forget to put OC in your comments if you think the raw aluminum look is better, or do you think we should finish it in black and it'll kind of disappear on the rest of the machine. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you on the next episode.